Mean Girls.
Yeah.
So big.
Oh my gosh, that's a thing?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Oh my gosh.
So good to get a haircut, not just because your dead ends are off now.
Yeah.
Because you've gotten rid of some dead weight.
Oh my gosh. Lindsey, I come to you all the time. Now I feel like I got to even come more.
Are you right? Like she's really out there doing the Lord's work.
Yes. Yes, 100%. Hi, friends. Welcome back to Shut Up, Tell Me More. Well, I love a pop culture moment and reality TV and topics that will stop you in your tracks. And that is what I have for you today. We are going to talk all about the world of plant-based medicine. Think ayahuasca, breathwork, healing retreats. You've probably heard about some of this from celebrities like Aaron Rodgers, Kristin Cavallari, Theo. But today we're going much, much deeper, and we're going to talk about what it's really like to have plant-based medicine. I have two amazing guests here with me today, Jacquelyn Myrin and Lindsey Mudge. Jacquelyn is the co-founder of the Cocoon Healing Center. She's an energy healer, plant medicine practitioner, and breathwork teacher. And Lindsey has been on an incredible transformative journey herself. She's going to talk about all of that. And also, she does my hair. So I've known Lindsey for a long time, and she's a pop culture girly too. So I could not ask for two better people to talk about this topic. So thank you both so much for being here.
It's a pleasure. Yeah, happy to be here.
So I want to delve right in. How do you guys know each other?
Oh, geez. Well,
it all started in my backyard.
It did. It all started in Jacquelyn's backyard. I had moved here. I had a coworker who every weekend, come hang out with my husband and I. And I was like, I don't know if I want to be friends with my coworkers, like typical. And then one day she asked me, she's like, my super hippie sister is going to like this breathwork thing. Would you come? And I just had like a bad day at work. And I was like, you know what? Yes, I will go to that.
How long ago was that?
Probably about 3 years ago.
Or over.
Yeah. Around 3 years ago. So yeah, I ended up in Jacquelyn and Alex's backyard on a random, I think Saturday.
Probably.
Yeah.
And was that where the healing center was at that time?
Yeah, really. I mean, our story goes further back than that. But when we first started out, everything was happening in our backyard, which thinking about that today is so wild to me that I had people in my backyard breathing heavily, crying, sobbing, maybe even screaming out, and my neighbors are just like, you found, I don't know. Both of my neighbors at the time were very big, homebodies or big workers, and they weren't at home. It was the perfect setup. It happened all in divine timing. But today, we couldn't do it that way. Our neighbors now have children, they play outside, and our other neighbors that moved in, are just, they're loud and they've got a big family, and loud in the best way possible. They're passionate people, but it couldn't have worked in today's day as it did work back then when we had people literally in our backyard doing breathwork ceremonies, doing ayahuasca ceremonies, which can, in nature, get loud. People are releasing a lot of things,
So for those who are completely unfamiliar, it's a big question to cover, but What is plant-based medicine? It is a mouthful.
Yeah.
What is ayahuasca? Break it down for us.
Okay. So plant-based medicine can encompass a lot of things. So ayahuasca, I feel is a really big buzzword right now in our society. A lot of people are doing it. As you mentioned, we've got some pop culture people doing it and spreading the word that it can make big changes in their life. Ayahuasca is from South America. It is from the ayahuasca vine and the chacruna leaves. So if you think about this, this is such a wild trivia thing to realize. But how many ever years ago, I'm not going to put a number on it, people in the jungle were able to have spirit lead them through 80,000 different plant species, and something told them the ayahuasca vine and the chacruna leaves together will create this healing brew. And it has been in use for how many ever years, like through generations, and somehow has ended up in our lives as a big piece of our lives, and helping people heal. And also a part of our own healing journey. So but plant medicine isn't just ayahuasca. We've got a whole different group of mushrooms, there's so many different types of mushrooms. Mushrooms really isn't my type of medicine that I work with. I have worked with it. I have served people psilocybin, but I don't connect the same way to mushrooms as I do with ayahuasca. There's just a different type of synergy of working with ayahuasca for me than mushrooms. However, a lot of people are very terrified of ayahuasca.
It's intense.
Yeah, you hear a lot of things. So some people feel safer starting with mushrooms, or maybe even just staying with mushrooms. But specifically, while we offer out at our healing center, Tikkun, all different types. It's ayahuasca. We serve ayahuasca, my husband and I. People serve psilocybin, and we do have people who serve peyote, and other things like that. Then beyond that, there's also things like bufo, which is not plant medicine. That comes from the bufo toad, which is also a really intense plant medicine that I wouldn't even say is for everybody, and I could dive into this so far, but I'll kind of keep it there. So plant medicine encompasses that, which these are psychedelic, but then there's also plant medicines that we do know more commonly that are in our everyday life, such as things like calendula. Like the calendula is in like healing ointments and things like that.
Oh.
So plant medicine isn't just our psychedelic things. Like we can work with things that are not psychedelic, or even things that are psychoactive, meaning like they might give you some like messages or lessons, open and expand your level of consciousness to be able to see things differently, to shift perspective without having this massive psychedelic experience. And that would be things like Blue Lotus, which she kind of mentioned before the podcast. So Blue Lotus is one of those psychoactive plants that isn't psychedelic.
Okay, so it's not is the experience as long? Because I know ayahuasca is a long
Right. Ayahuasca can last anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. Some people metabolize it faster than others. I've always erred on the longer side of the journey for myself.
Wow.
My husband always errs on the shorter side of the journey. So it's like, it really doesn't matter how big you are, how tall you are, like how much weight you have on your body. Like a little 5 foot, 100-pound woman could metabolize it really fast, maybe, versus like a 6'5" linebacker looking guy, right? Like, it just doesn't even matter. Some people just are in journeys longer than others.
So I know that we've talked about before how you are such an experienced person. It is very important to go to someone who knows what they're doing. How did you get into this whole world? Were you always spiritual?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's such an interesting question. And even like looking back over my life and looking at the trajectory my life has had, really since like my healing journey began. If you would have asked me, like 10 years ago that I'd be here serving people ayahuasca and encouraging people to purge, out the things that are no longer serving them, I would have been like, absolutely not.
Did you even know what it was 10 years ago?
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Like my spirituality really was like within the yoga community. Like I have always leaned into yoga when in all of my like phases of life. Like I loved to be able to roll out my mat and move my body in these sacred shapes with my breath. And that was healing and cleansing for me. But not to like dive too deep into it. My husband,
very different people, but who knows? Maybe in your soul family, at one point he was your brother.
I don't know, yeah.
Think about that tonight when you go home.
Wrap my brain. But no, my husband is a war veteran. So I met him when I was 20 years old, and he was on his mid-tour leave from Afghanistan. So he was home for 2 weeks. I met him when I was on like summer break with college. I was still living up in like the college town that I was going to, and I almost didn't go to this house party, essentially. Like I was working a lot to save up for the next school year, and I ended up showing up late, like not even fashionably late, just like straight up late. And I locked eyes with him, and I was like, I'm going to get to know that guy. And so we ended up started dating, and he went back to war, and we stayed in touch. And when he came back, I mean, the war affects people. So our journey kind of ended as being boyfriend and girlfriend, and we stayed in touch, and we did our own things. And really, like, I knew he was my person. Like I knew he was my person when I locked eyes with him at that house party. Our journey, we got back together, and we've always had like a very like passionate, loving relationship, but the like lasting effects of being in a war-torn area weighed on him in different ways. And
did he have like PTSD?
Yeah, complex PTSD, which is like obviously really widely known in our veteran community, treatment resistant too. Like we have many war veterans that struggle. And so it was probably about 7 years ago that he saw like a documentary of sorts about war veterans that went and drank ayahuasca, and they felt like they found some healing from it. And I remember him talking to me about it and just being like, I think this is something I have to try, because it's not that he wasn't trying, like he was trying. I wanted him to have relief, you know, and he went to therapy, he tried. So it just, sometimes talk therapy fails us, keep us in the loop of our own suffering, depending on the therapist. So I was like, I have no idea what that is.
Right.
But Hail Mary, let's do it.
Yeah. Did you Google it or anything?
No.
Okay.
Like, this is how much I was just like,
You're like, go, whatever works.
I know I've always trusted like his judgment and things. Like I have so much immense trust and belief in him that like he said that, and I was like, yeah, honey, you do that.
Yeah.
And so he goes and he does that.
Where did he go?
He went to Soul Quest, which is no longer open.
Okay.
Soul Quest was in Orlando.
Okay.
But they have since closed. And so he went up there, he just, going up to Orlando, and it just opened his mind in a way that was unfathomable.
Yeah.
And he came home and he didn't know how to even explain it to me. But I happened at this point in my yoga journey, I had started yoga teacher training, which is at a studio up in Jupiter called Kula Yogashala. Highly recommend. And I was reading some of these ancient spiritual texts, and I started reading it to him after his ayahuasca journey. And he was like, whoa, wait, read that again. Like, wait, what did you just say? That kind of reminds me of what I just experienced in this ayahuasca retreat weekend.
Yeah.
So then he started like diving into these spiritual texts too, because it was kind of helping him integrate it, which is such an important.
Yes, we're going to talk about that too.
So he felt he didn't have a ton of like integration support. Like while Soul Quest did offer like free Zoom integration calls, which I think are great. But like being the only person like in your community that you know of that has experienced this and not being able to talk it through with somebody. And then also like 7 years ago, this is like kind of the forefront of like it happening. And therapists were still not on that curve quite yet. It was starting to happen. So if like you go to a therapist and you're like, I want to talk about I need to do a psychedelic integration, they might be like, huh?
I don't know how to help you.
I don't know how to help you with that. I'll try. So that's kind of like where he was in that shift. And so that's why we're really passionate about integration support and being like a guiding light in that, so that nobody feels as lost as he did feel when he first came home, because ayahuasca can shake it up. It will shake it up. It's going to unearth the things that maybe you weren't willing to look at in talk therapy or on your own or whatever the case may be.
Or you didn't even know because
Or you didn't,
so far deep.
or you didn't even know
that your body was protecting you from it. But ayahuasca is a way of opening that, and then you can really start the healing.
Yeah. So this happened, right? And he, and then he ended up going through yoga teacher training, and he started being able to put language around it. So we both are like certified yoga teachers and things like that. So he,
I have to ask,
yeah.
Was he this way at all before this? I mean, I'm thinking of this guy going into the army, like war is the complete opposite of this. So like, were you like, this is a complete transformation.
Complete transformation.
Yeah.
If you would have met us, we got married right around 25. We're 35 now. Like the shift in our 10 years of marriage, almost 11 years, like we have grown and shape-shifted essentially.
Yeah.
So many different ways from when we were young and in love and like being stupid and, doing your typical early 20s thing and to now,
That's what I love about both of you. Like I'm looking at you, you're like this normal girl. Lindsey and I talk about teen mom and like all the ridiculous pop culture things constantly. Like it really makes you realize like all of this journey is so normal almost. Like it's not something that's like so out there at all. Like it really is.
It's not like I grew up in the jungle or something with a Shipibo tribe.
Yeah.
Just like in a loincloth or something.
Yeah.
Like I'm a real person. And somehow this became like our path. And I'm so grateful for it. And so through all of this, of course, I drank ayahuasca and Alex is having more experiences. And basically what ayahuasca was urging him to do was to go to the jungle, which Lindsey did, and was to start our own ayahuasca church. I put it in quotation marks because I don't know if most people realize that like it's a very gray area, first of all. In order to serve ayahuasca in that gray area, you have to have a church.
Yes. When you look up Tikkun, it says religious organization.
Correct.
Yep.
So ayahuasca encouraged him to do this. And I mean, really, again, like I'm just dabbling in this at this point, and he's coming to me and he's like, listen, like this is what ayahuasca is encouraging me to do. Like on the next part of my path, she showed me that every other avenue that I take is going to lead to some form of destruction unless I take this path, unless I take like this like opportunity to like help people the way that ayahuasca and this community has helped me essentially. So I was like, okay, like I've really trusted along this way where I've just been like, I believe that like this is right. Like,
was everyone in your world on board with this, or was anyone like, what are they going through? What is happening with these people?
I think like honestly, because of the integration process and how sound and grounded we are, because there are plenty of people in the plant medicine world that will talk your ear off about aliens and portals and things that might sound kind of fun and esoteric, but aren't necessarily inherently grounding.
Mm-hmm.
So we took the lessons, because ayahuasca is going to give you the homework. We took the lessons, we integrated it, we grounded it, and we moved from that space. So anybody in our lives was like, yes, like even my parents, you know, who were a little hesitant at first, where they were like, wait, what? You're starting an ayahuasca church? They were like, okay, yeah, like, okay. I mean, I'm never going to drink ayahuasca, you know, but like, yeah, like you're helping people. This is amazing. And
have they done it?
Yeah, I was about to say, by the way, my dad has drank ayahuasca.
I've drank with all of them, I think. Maybe not Alex's mom.
No, Alex's dad, my dad, my younger brother, my youngest brother, I should say, because I have 3. And my mom, I have a stepmom who's been in my life since I was literally 3 years old. So I refer to them both as mom. But my biological mom recently had like her first little introduction, like we just took it easy. She just had like one little tiny cup, like just to kind of like make that connection, make that introduction with this powerful plant spirit. And it went really well for her. Like, I'm glad it was like we wanted that, like, we were encouraging this gentle ride.
Were you the one that guided her through that?
Yeah, which is a really big,
yeah. What is it like guiding your family through it?
Yeah. So the very first time my dad drank ayahuasca, he didn't want me there, respectfully so. Like, he had Alex hold space for him. And the very last time my dad drank ayahuasca, which it's been like maybe a year and a half now, I got to do that for him.
Yeah.
He wanted it to just be me and him. And it was so profound. Like,
are you sitting with him like for the hours and hours and hours?
Really, just him and
wow.
The level of presence, right? To just like sit there and be with him as he's moving and shifting, unearthing, and just allowing me to be there to hold space for him is like just, it's really special.
It's amazing. Does it scare you ever when he's like purging? Because I know like you vomit,
purging, like literally, I don't know if parenthood, like
you're like vomit's vomit, I don't care.
Yeah, like I don't know if parenthood set me up for like success on this, but it's like I literally listen to people shit on the toilet and I purge into buckets. I've been in the splash zone of people's purge. Like,
wow.
Yeah. Like, it just does not bother me. Like,
yeah.
You know?
Wow.
I'll say too, because like Jacquelyn has invited me out before to hold space. And one of their rules is that you have to have drank ayahuasca and worked with it to be able to hold space because you have to understand. Like,
is holding space just being there?
Sorry. Yes.
Okay.
So it's essentially being there and just being like a body in the room that's like safety, protection. Like if you need anything, anyone's, there to assist you because you're deeply under a psychedelic experience. So like you need help, maybe standing up or going to the bathroom. But there is something about giving back to other people that are doing the work that you've also been through and you've done the work. So like I dropped out of nursing school, hairdresser, like I am not good with like puke, blood, any of it. And I've been in certain situations where I'm like cleaning it off of someone. I'm like dumping out buckets and like you just don't. You're like so honored and to be there that it doesn't feel like this is like vomit.
So I want to switch gears a bit and touch on the celebrity thing because, I first really this became so close to me because Aaron Rodgers, my good friend Aaron Rodgers, but watching his documentary and hearing how much he changed, just knowing in the NFL world how he was viewed and how he's helped teammates and other players through this journey. And then Kristin Cavallari, she talked about her bufo toad experience, and then Theo Vaughn, who Lindsey loves. So
shout out Theo.
Yes, if you're listening, I got a girl for you. Yeah, shoot your shot. Why not?
Yes.
But hearing all this, that is what really brought it to the forefront. Now, we know with anything in pop culture and celebrity, it's not always presented the way it should be or the most responsible. So being that this is what you've experienced and what you've done, how do you guys view how celebrity has shared the spotlight onto plant-based medicine?
So I would say the one thing that I really resonated from the Aaron Rodgers documentary, because it's so hard to put into words, the profound, I can't use any other word, but profound experiences that you have when you're working with this medicine. And I'm someone who, my dad's a radiation oncologist, so a cancer doctor. My mom's a nurse, so very modern medicine. And I kind of went a different route. But Aaron Rodgers said that everyone in ceremony has become his brother and sister, and that you can never explain to anyone what it feels like to be in ceremony with strangers and feel like you've known them forever and that you love them and you trust them. And that is to the core of what humanity should be, because we're really just all the same. And I think ayahuasca shows you that. And I think the way he said that, where he's I'm not the football player. I'm not this well-liked or not well-liked or hero. I'm just me.
Yeah.
And I think that is the truest thing.
Set down any form of hierarchy.
Yeah.
And that we are all in this together.
Yeah.
It's a human experience together. And there shouldn't be any competition,
Yeah.
We are just all here trying to be human on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
I think that is such an important aspect that comes out of doing plant medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unity that, we're all just walking each other home, essentially.
So in that regard, is it weird for you guys to like live in the modern world where like we're surrounded by so much, for lack of a better word, bullshit? Like there's just like aesthetic and things that we value that we've just as a society decided this bag is important or this car is fancy. Like
I'm going to speak to that.
Yeah, please do.
Let's speak to that too.
Yeah, we both can.
Yeah.
So for me, like just in my like evolution of being a spiritual person, right? I've gone from I don't need anything. And that's fine. Like, that's great because I don't. Like, essentially, I have everything I need within me to create the reality I want, to live in like this beauty and presence.
Mhm.
However, I'm allowed to like nice things.
Yeah.
Period.
And that like, it's not the basis of my happiness. So it's not like, oh my God, I have to have that bag. And if I don't have it, then I'm less than.
Yeah.
Especially we live in South Florida.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the material is materialing.
Yeah.
Like we've got a lot happening. But even so, when I was just on vacation, before I even went on vacation, I was like, Lindsey, I want this.
Okay. I'm so happy to hear because like again, looking at you guys, I'm like just normal, like the girlies are here, but like the girlies are also very spiritual.
Yeah. Girlies can be spiritual. And so I told her that and she was like, I was like, should I just like get it before I go on my trip so I have my bag like to go out to dinner? And she's like, girl,
Save the taxes.
go there and buy it.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, smart. Because I don't buy a lot of nice things. I don't.
That experience.
I just don't do that. And I remember I was even standing in line because I was in Barcelona and there's like lines. They only allow a certain amount of people in the store at a time.
Yes.
I'm very unfamiliar.
Yes. That's become a whole thing.
Yeah. So I'm just waiting in line and I'm like, I feel like a poser. Right?
Yes. You're like, please let me buy your, like, I mean, I did a whole thing on Hermes about how like you have to buy to be able to buy. Like it's a whole
like,
messed up world.
This is funny. I feel funny right now. I'm waiting in line to go spend money on a bag. Like what is this? It's the duality of it though.
Yeah.
Like I'm allowed to want nice things. Like I work hard. I'm allowed to spend my money on what I want to spend on as long as it is like I'm taking care of all of my actual bills. Like I can spend my money on what I want to spend on. Yeah. And so I felt like that was actually like a really big moment for me recently because I've never bought a bag like this before. Like, and I texted her immediately like, from Barcelona. I'm like, I got her.
And we're like calling her and she and like eventually probably will name it.
Yes.
So it was. Things. I think that it's okay. Again, it's okay to be a girly.
Yeah.
It's like to want the things you want as long as it's not the basis of your happiness.
Yeah. Well, I think that also welcomes people into the plant-based medicine world because it's like we're all here. Like
you don't have to come to our retreat center with a burlap sack.
Yes.
Like you can come in whatever you want. You're welcome just as you are, whether you are wearing like designer shoes and flip-flops beside or instead of like some Target rubber sandals or maybe Old Navy rubber sandals. Classic millennial.
Yes.
Right?
True.
It doesn't matter what you come. Like come as you are. We've had all walks of life.
Yeah.
The hippiest of the hippiest.
Yes.
And we've had the CEOs and like top dogs.
I've driven into retreats before and the parking lot.
G-Wagon.
Yeah. I've never seen it. Like near like one in Palm Beach. Like I've never seen cars like
wow.
So like just truly everyone.
I love that. I feel like we're breaking down like so many stereotypes.
Yeah. What's so cool is that nobody's there going, what do you do for work?
Yeah.
Well, and I think,
oh, is that your car out there?
Right.
Like you're just being you without the hats. Without the hats that you wear.
Yeah.
You don't
Can I live there?
Yeah.
Like,
right?
Can I take
you don't have to be CEO. You don't even have to be vegan. You don't have to wear any title.
Yeah.
Like just be you.
And the beautiful thing about that is you are in a room where to your core, you are stripped, you're vomiting.
Yeah.
You sometimes need to go the other way.
Yeah.
Never trust a fart.
Yes.
Common saying in ceremonies.
Yeah.
Like go sit on the toilet. Like you're crying, you're screaming. I mean, and you're next to like, you could be next to someone that's like worth, $50 million plus dollars. And you could be next to someone who doesn't have 2 pennies and scrape together everything that they've had just to like go to a retreat. And that is like the beauty in ceremony. It's like at the end of it, you're just all the same. You're all equal.
Do you ever nervous laugh during it? I feel like I would be like just like hearing the noises. I would nervous laugh, and I know you're like in it, but
yeah, no, first of all, even the people who are there holding space or facilitating, in my husband and mine's case, we're taking a small dose of this medicine.
Yeah.
Not going under the medicine like all of our people on their mats are. They're going through a journey, but we're with the medicine. It's as if you're communing with the spirit of ayahuasca, right? So we're in that frequency.
Yeah.
So in that sense, there's no space for ego to get in the way. Like you are just being pure essence and like of service in that way. Now, have there been times where there's been some like really silly circumstances? Right. Yes. But when we're with that person, it is always like, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be, however it might look, and then we might laugh about it later, not at the person.
Right.
Never at the person.
No.
At the circumstance, like, wow, that was like a batshit crazy night.
Like the time that I brought, like, the more I drink ayahuasca, the smarter I got with like what I brought. So I got to a point where I was like, I've always been like a really big purger, had a lot of energy to move clearly. And
touch a lot of people's hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if we're going to be
so
spiritual
true.
girlies right now, the hair holds a lot.
Oh my God. Well, speaking of that, I want to pivot into your journey. Because I remember when you said, I'm going to go to Peru and I'm going to live with this tribe for a bit and go through this journey. I was like, oh, okay. And I'm paying to do it, by the way. I was like, oh, okay, Lindsey, yay. But I honestly like could not wait to hear what happened. And when you got back, I was like, okay, it's 12,000 questions time.
Yeah.
So for those listening, how did we end up in the Amazonian jungle of Peru?
Oh, geez. Well, I'll give you like the brief synopsis, but I feel like obviously I moved here, so like people don't know me from like way back in the day. And I would say obviously to the core of my being, I'm the same, but like I was really depressed when I was younger and like had a lot of anxiety. I was put on anxiety medication at a very young age. And again, parents just trying to do like their best to like get me through life. But I had crippling anxiety. COVID happened. First time I was really experiencing like back-to-back panic attacks. I felt like I was at a point in Chicago that was really desperate, very suicidal, which I feel like a lot of people don't know. I used to walk over this one bridge and I would think all the time, like, what would it feel like to jump? Which is like, I know really deep and heavy for people to hear, but that is truly like the desperation.
By the way, if you weren't emotional right now, I'd be like, sociopath. So like, please, this is a very emotional topic. I don't have tissues, but I'm going to get them.
Not trying to like be too,
I was waiting for someone to cry in the podcast, honestly, so thank you.
I'm like quivery. But yeah, I did a lot of my own research. I mean, just growing up and just kind of being in that mindset. And I love my family so much. And I had just so much, like I knew that wasn't my path, but it was something that haunted me every day of like, what if I jumped? Or what if, this, that, or the other thing. When I was younger, I dabbled in self-harm. So yeah, moved to Florida, kind of fresh start. And it's just that thing where I moved here and I was so happy when I started. And, like new job, new friends, new everything. And then like once the like glitter of that kind of dissipates, you look at your life and you're like, I'm still unhappy. So I just kind of like ended up at breathwork, like super randomly found out after doing breathwork for a while, which I didn't even know what that was. I like literally.
What is
like,
breathwork?
I mean, it's a really powerful tool.
So powerful.
Too. Like all you're really doing is altering your breaths, right? You're breathing at a faster pace. It creates this circular breath. And you can have a psychedelic experience all alone on your breath because when you alter your breathing, you are releasing DMT just naturally. So people have emotional release. They can cry. They can shake, they can thrash around, they can have visuals. All of that is still like, it's really powerful. But breath work, it takes work to get into that space. But once you're there, the breath almost starts to breathe you and you're in your breath work journey. So it's a really great place for people to also start when they're starting like a healing journey, because it's something you can take home with you. You can't take ayahuasca home with you.
Yeah.
Mushrooms, people are microdosing. That's very like bad right now. But you can take your breath home with you.
Yeah.
People can do breathwork journeys on their own. They don't even have to do a breathwork ceremony on their own, but to even like learn and obtain new tools for your toolbox to be able to regulate your nervous system. Like different breathing techniques, calming breathing techniques is so powerful.
Yeah.
So that's like the start of your journey.
Yeah.
And then I'll let you keep going.
Yeah, so I ended up in their backyard, and best yes I've ever said was just doing something that I was like, I don't know this girl, I don't know her sister, I don't know these people, but yes. And
Fate.
I went, and I remember afterwards we were like all sharing, which I just am like, just in general, a pretty open person. And I started sharing. I just started like bawling my eyes out, and I hadn't cried, I think, in like 8 years, because at that point I was just so numb to everything. And I'm just like crying in front of all these strangers. And I'm just like, WTF is going on? Like, why am I doing this right now? And then I went back again, and my friend didn't go that time. And that for me was like a big deal to just like go by myself, because what a lot of people don't know about me, because I do hair, is I'm actually really, really shy. Like, I didn't order my own food till I was like 14. And so to go in like a group of strangers and just go by myself was like, that in itself was like healing. I was like,
I give you so much credit. I'm not shy, and I would have been like, we'll skip tonight. Yeah.
Oh, and then I went back again, and then I went back again. And then I think Alex and Jacquelyn both saw in me like the positive steps and like how badly I started to want to change. And then Alex was like, came up to me one time after breath work and was like, have you ever thought about drinking ayahuasca? And I was like, actually, I've like looked into it. I've done some research, but I don't think I'm there yet. So I continued to do breath work for probably about a year before I did my first ceremony. And I was so terrified. My first ceremony, I was so nervous. And the first night was, I had never done any kind of psychedelic before ayahuasca. So I kind of went like head first, had no idea what to expect, never had done mushrooms, like none of it. And first night was an introduction to the spirit of ayahuasca for me. So it was just kind of like trusting her. And she's very like grandmothery spirit, very loving, nurturing. So it's just kind of like, for me, my experience the first night was, I'm just like letting you know that this is real. And I'm like a real spirit, and I'm here to help you. And if you trust me, I trust you. And like, let's do this. And then the next.
Can you talk about like what you, I don't know if saw is the right term, or like what it, all the senses.
For me, it was like very beautiful. Like I felt like I was literally like in a jungle. I mean, all kinds of like just beautiful animals. It reminded me of when you were a kid and like those, what were those, you like look into them and you twist them.
Like a kaleidoscope?
Yeah. It was kind of like kaleidoscopy. And then I couldn't really describe to you like what the spirit of ayahuasca like looked like, but I just felt like I was very much like in the jungle, in nature. It showed me like the universe, you know, you see how like little you are in this like huge complex universe. And then next night ceremony, I rewind. I went into that ceremony, and I just always went into it of like, my intention, because it's very important. Jacquelyn and Alex has taught me to set an intention. So that's kind of going to guide you in your journey of what you want to see. And I just kind of always went into it as like, spirit of ayahuasca, show me whatever you want to show me. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like, I'm brave. I'm like, want to see whatever you're going to show me. And the second night got really heavy and deep for me, where I was like, I had a horse growing up. Now I'm like really gonna cry, because I cry every time I tell the story. But I had her since I was 8 until I was 23, and I had to sell her. And I sold her to like the most incredible family. She's still alive. She's 24, like the best. But anyways, I like was reunited with her in spirit, and then it showed me like all the past lives that like we've been together and that we'll continue to be together. And it just was like so profound. And I went through like her life cycle of like when she was born to when she passed away. So even though like she's still alive, I got to be there and like grieve that before it happened. And I didn't realize like how much I had suppressed that and did not realize how, I don't want to say traumatic, but in a like my own way, how traumatic that experience was of like selling my child essentially. And so, yeah, that was like my first introduction to ayahuasca. And I was like, I didn't even realize how important or how much that affected me
Yeah.
until I had that experience. And then from there, I was like, there's so much more I need to like uncover, because that's one thing that's like in the present time
Yeah.
I've been through, but like there's so many other things in your life growing up and as children and blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, that was kind of the beginning of my journey, but I was like, holy crap. And then after that journey, I think it's like my inner child. I went to Tractor Supply that day when I got home. I bought this stuffed animal horse. Fast forward to present day, that horse that I bought had the exact same markings of the horse that I now own.
Stop.
Yeah.
That's bananas.
And my horse trainer from Michigan now lives in Vero Beach.
Yeah.
I was like reconnected with him. So it's just was this whole
It's amazing.
full circle.
So when do you take the deep dive to say, to Peru I go?
So at that point, I had been drinking with Alex and Jacquelyn for a while. And I studied history in college. And they had always talked about Peru and going to Peru. And you can go to Costa Rica, Peru. I mean, you can really go anywhere. Yeah, it's just kind of where you're called. And I just had a journey where I just felt like, you know what? I think it's time. I want to go to Peru. And honestly, I wanted to go and also honor the land, the tribe, the people that have worked with it for many, many, many years. Alex and Jacqueline are obviously incredible, and they've showed me so much. But there is something very, profound again.
Yeah.
Going to the jungle. I mean, one time I was in my tambo, which is like your little tree house. And I was like laying there closing my eyes. And like, I swear Matilda, she's the head of the matriarch. Yeah, thank you. I was like, I don't know like the right term, but matriarch. And she just like came out of nowhere. It's like she just like transported out of nowhere. And I just started hearing stuff. And I was like, wow, Matilda's here. So like, it's that magical.
Yeah.
That you're just like,
It's a completely different energy being in the jungle where these plants originated from. With a tribe, it's the ancestry of it.
Yeah.
cutting the vines. Like you can hear it in the morning, like all day. They're like,
So when you hear the name Matilda, I pictured like a blonde American that like just moved out there. That is not who Matilda is.
no.
Tell me about Matilda, because I think that is so representative of what this experience encompasses.
And Matilda, I mean, I think she's 63. Let's err on the side of give or take one.
Yeah.
And she has been working with ayahuasca in her life for over 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking like she started in her adolescence drinking ayahuasca, learning Icaros, which is powerful plant medicine music. It's a vibrational language. So literally you can feel, let me backtrack a little. When you're in the jungle, it's not like they hit the playlist or someone's playing the guitar or something. They are singing these Icaros, which are powerful medicine songs that help the medicine in you that you drank move through you. Mm-hmm. And so you can feel it almost pulsating or vibrating through you on a cellular level. And it can help you purge. It can help whatever, So she is probably 5 foot tall.
Yeah, she's
this little Peruvian lady.
And she doesn't speak English.
She does not speak English. Her first language is Shipibo. So I don't speak Spanish well. I try my best. Like I've got a lot of basics. I can communicate my basic needs. but it's hard to communicate with her, like, because Spanish is not her first language.
She's also come and visited you in Florida.
She has.
Which I could like do an entire podcast just on like Matilda in Florida. Like that must have been
It was such an
bananas.
honor.
Yeah.
It was such an honor. It would be an honor to have her again. For somebody like her to leave her home in the jungle and come here to South Florida is epic. It's huge. It's an honor.
It had to be like a psychedelic journey unto itself for her. I cannot.
She was terrified of the buildings in Miami.
Yeah.
Like,
They're scary. I get it.
but it's so funny that people, like anybody from the US goes down to the jungle, and there's I'd say for a lot of people, there's a typical fear
Yes.
going down to the jungle, and you're going to put yourself through some isolation and ayahuasca journeys and what's down in the jungle, depending on how far in the jungle you are. There could be jungle cats. Luckily, that's not typical.
Oh my gosh. My first thought when Lindsey told me, I was like, so like you're going to live with an anaconda because you're I'm going to say it wrong. The treehouse.
Yeah.
When you're in there, you're by yourself. There are no lights, no phone at all, nothing. And you're not close to other people at all.
And there's no light in the jungle at all. So like it's darkness like you've never.
There's no light pollution.
Yeah.
So
No.
It takes a certain level of gusto and courage to go down there. It has gotten easier for me each time. It's like I befriend the jungle in a new way each time. Usually. So it's, but it takes a lot of courage, I think, for the average person to go down to the jungle. So it's a journey in and of itself to get there.
Yeah.
Like you're going into remote areas.
And then once you're there, it's not like, okay, now everyone's going to drink the same thing. You're on different dietas, right?
Yeah, you're on different things. Like everyone is being paired with a different plant. So again, we're going back to this whole encompassing thing of plant medicine. It's not just ayahuasca, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have got different types of plants. And when you are in a dieta and you're in isolation and you're only given different avenues of your own creativity, essentially. So meaning like you can write, you can draw, you can play music. You're not supposed to necessarily listen to music, because that is somebody else's creative energy.
Or read a book.
Don't read a book. Like you're supposed to be within your own creative energy. When everything slows down, what shows up? So, and with that, through the whispers of the jungle, what are these plants trying to teach you? Not just ayahuasca. So in your case, you dieted Renikia, right?
Yes.
Right.
So I went there with the intention of I want to figure out my block with relationships with men. I sat down in front of Matilda and I broke down because our journey there was so hard. And it just was like word vomit. I was like, I want to figure out my health and wellness. And I just want to be healthier and better. And whatever is going to help me do that. So that's kind of how they determine like what plan
To pair
You diet. Yeah.
Yeah. So with my intention being that, they put me with, or not, they didn't put me with, but I started drinking Renikia with ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Because that's supposed to help with weight loss and blah, blah, blah. And then they also had me do combo, which is a plant medicine. And that's another one that's supposed to help with kind of that mind shift. And
Yes. And when you say with weight loss, I mean, you're not shooting up Ozempic. You're saying like help you with the mindset of wanting to like change your outer and body image and all of that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I would say essentially like that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that part of your journey was really like the inner look at it.
yeah,
Your inner relationship with food and how you have viewed food, what you've reached for.
Yep.
So it's like she healed her inner journey with it. And then she came back and did the work.
Yeah.
From that.
Yeah.
It was huge.
you're saying when she got back from
When she
Peru.
got back from Peru, she was so I was saying to you the other day, like, ayahuasca isn't the magic pill that's going to fix everything in your life.
Yeah.
Like, ayahuasca is going to give you the homework.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody does the homework. Like, it's up to you to change your life.
Yeah.
Like, ayahuasca will show you how you can create the reality that you so dream of, but then you have to do it. And so what I love about Lindsey's journey is that she understood the fucking assignment.
Yes.
She was like, I heard you loud and clear.
Yeah.
And now let's fucking do this.
Yeah. So Lindsey, in your life, what changes have you seen since you've been on this journey?
Oh my gosh. I mean, everything. But when I went to before I even like started working really seriously with ayahuasca, I mean, I think like heaviest I was almost like 300 pounds, like really heavy, which is fine. Like I'm not trying by no means to like shame anyone. Like I always say every size underneath like a umbrella of what a like human can be. But I started kind of working on that portion of myself while drinking ayahuasca. And then after the jungle, it just was so clear to me. And like through all my experiences and other journeys of like, I really want to ride horses and I am too heavy to ride horses. And I think that me figuring out this part of myself is also going to open up my other intention, which is my relationship blocks with men.
Yeah.
And like wanting to have that partnership, but having a really hard time connecting too. And so, yeah, I just like, that was always my biggest motivation. It was never about like how I looked or this or the other thing. It was just like to the core, I just want to be able to ride horses and get back into that. And that is really like was the most powerful thing, is doing it not for like society, not for anything else, but just for something that like you're really, really passionate about. And you just like have to do the work to get there.
So I could talk about this for years, literally, so many questions. But before we wrap up, what would you guys say to a friend that was like, I'm thinking about it, but I don't know what to do. I'm scared. Like, how do you talk someone through that? And how would you really describe how much change this can have in your world?
You have to be ready for that change. You have to be ready to do the work that comes after. So, like, do you want to radically change your life?
Yeah.
First and foremost, like, because that's what's going to happen if you're willing to take the action steps afterwards. But of course, like my very first, just like being that we put safety at the forefront of everything, creating safe containers. Like, I want to know that you are of sound mind. That doesn't mean that you like can't struggle with depression or anxiety. Like, perfect, come, But we need to make sure that you're not struggling with certain mental illnesses. And if you've ever questioned if there is an underlying undiagnosed mental health issue, then I would go see a psychiatrist. That would be like your first step if you've ever questioned it, because not everybody is able to drink ayahuasca or should drink ayahuasca.
Same with medication.
Right. And so, and if you are on medication currently, you go to your doctor and have a plan. It's always going to be there. So there's no rush. Like, take your time, be where you're at on your journey. And if you really, really want to drink ayahuasca, then take those necessary steps to wean yourself off with the advice of an actual doctor.
And do it with someone who is as experienced and knowledgeable and professional as you guys are, because I know that is so important. This isn't a recreational. No, let's just go drink some ayahuasca.
This is serious stuff, and people's lives are for sure like at stake. Like you don't just go drink ayahuasca with anybody. And I would jokingly say, don't just drink ayahuasca with a shaman in a backyard, but like we definitely did serve ayahuasca in our backyard and one season in our life. But that's not just it. It's like, if you're making an informed choice based off of your own mental health history, first and foremost, and then also making an informed choice on where you are doing it. Who are you sitting with? Where have they trained? Like, what is their integrity to the plants? Where are they getting their medicine from? Because there are some people who import a paste, from the jungle, and you don't know who made that paste, but then they're just bringing it up to a consistency to drink.
Yeah.
Here, and again, at maybe an ayahuasca church or in someone's backyard, whatever. But for Alex and I, we really take in like the integrity of honoring these plants, brewing them with love and with light and with the intent for people to heal. So from the growing process of the plants, from the harvesting of the plants, from the brewing of the plants to the serving of this powerful brew, all of it matters. So if you're not willing to do your due diligence and look into all of that and make sure like who you are going to be sitting with, like it doesn't have to be with us, but at least know who you're doing it with and be willing to ask all the questions, because energetically speaking, it all matters.
Yeah.
So,
well, the good thing is you guys are local. You're in Florida.
Yeah.
Where can people find both of you on social media? Because by the way, I'm just going to give you a little plug, Linz. If you need your hair done, Lindsey is phenomenal. No one knows color better than Lindsey. So like, what a great day you could have. You could go to Lindsey, get your hair cut, and then go to Jacquelyn and like learn about. Yeah, so true. I love that. So where can we find both of you guys on social media? Lindsey, you go first.
You can find me at Lindsey Mudge on Instagram. So that is just like kind of my work Instagram. And then I work at the Collective Hair Studio in North Palm Beach.
Yes. And Jacquelyn, how do we find out more about Screen Star? I think you were such a open, kind, welcoming person that if people just have like this much a question, like I would strongly encourage them to call you and reach out to you. So where can they reach you?
So my Instagram is at Total Wellness Within. And then we also have an Instagram for Tikkun, and that's at Tikkun Healing Center. You can contact me via Instagram or anyway, really, like just get in touch with me. I'm happy to answer questions. I'm happy to be a part of your journey to figure out if this is right for you and where you may go, because I've got plenty of suggestions, whether it's in the jungle or right here in Loxahatchee, Florida. Like, I'm your girl. So I can answer any questions.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I can't thank you enough for sharing. And thank you all for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Shut Up, Tell Me More. You can find us on Instagram at Shut Up, Tell Me More. Remember to subscribe to the podcast. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, go to the show page